Great Bambino, or the Sultan of SWAT. There were just a few of his nicknames. His real name is George Herman Ruth, but he's better known as the Babe, or Babe Ruth. He spent 22 years in the MLB playing for 3 different teams. He is worth commemorating today because of how well he played the game. He is one of the best baseball players, and his stats prove that. But what's more impressive is what he did for the game. And last but not least, we need to commemorate him because of all the charity work that he did. He loved children. He loved children so much that when he died, he was survived by his second wife and his 2 daughters. But he left most of what he had to the Babe Ruth Association. This association was set up to help kids that are troubled kids make their way through life and achieve their goals. Some other charity work that he did was that when the war broke out in 1917, he went around and gave shoes to children whose parents were overseas. And it turned out that he ended up giving away shoes to any kids that needed them. He started the charity movement in MLB and with professional baseball players all over. And he was able to do this because he was one of the highest paid baseball players of his time. He was drafted when he was only 19. He played 3 short years in the minor leagues before he moved up to the MLB, and he played for Boston. He moved up as a pitcher, but after a few years, the coach realized how good his bat was and began to bat him every day. Started him at first base the days he didn't bat. His first season of batting every day, he hit 29 home runs, which broke the home run record for that time. After that year, Boston traded him to the Yankees. In his first year with the Yankees, he hit 54 home runs. And this was an outstanding number because 3 years prior to that, the record was only 15 for most home runs in a season. He went on to break that record 2 more times and ended with 60 home runs in 1 season, a record that stood for 34 years. He holds some other pretty impressive records. He holds the record for consecutive years with the most home runs, leading the league in home runs with 12 years straight. He holds a slugging percentage at .847. He had the home run record for career home runs for a long time, with 714. He retired in 1935, and this was 1 week after he had hit 3 home runs in 1 game. In 1936, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame and was one of the first 5 players to be inducted. What he did for the game is much more impressive than his stats, though. When he first came up, pitchers would hold back and not pitch as hard as they could because they wanted to save their arms and pitch until late innings or pitch with short rest. But he proved that the game could be changed with 1 swing of the bat, so pitchers had to give it them all. Also, he changed the game in a way that he brought the fans back into the game. When he first went to the Yankees, they were one of the worst teams in the league and had the lowest attendance rating. After only 2 years of being there, he improved their rating so high that they built a new stadium. It was called the Yankee Stadium, but most people call it the house that Ruth built, just to hold all the players, all the fans that came to watch him hit the long ball. Today we've talked about many things that Babe Ruth did for the game and to the game. He was a great baseball player. He brought in many fans, but his best thing for him was his charity work. He started the charity movement for professional baseball players and professional athletes all over, which still happens today, and a lot of charity for donations comes from professional athletes. They give up a lot of their paychecks to help children, and he started this movement. He was a troubled child and found his goal and his dream in life when he was 8 years old and followed that dream for his entire life. And he wanted more than anything to help children follow their dreams and become what they wanted to in life. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
This will be my audience again. Okay.